today's topic is a bit different, I think, than what we've talked about in the past. We're talking about the evil eye, malocchio.
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 Have you heard of that? Have you heard about it before? Maybe in your house you grew up with the evil eye, or maybe somebody you know had maybe the evil eye somewhere
The
in their
blue
house.
evil eye hanging from a door, from over a bed or somewhere in your house.
Yeah, to keep
Really-
the bad spirits out.
Yeah.
And if you've been to Greece, you see it everywhere. If you're Greek, you know what we're talking about.
If you're Italian,
if
of
you're
course.
Italian too, but maybe you've had a red pepper hanging from a car.
It means the same thing.
Okay, and we're bringing this up because I was not a believer at all.
No, he
not
really
even
wasn't.
not even
No.
not even close. So I met Tina, and you and your family, you're just obsessed with the evil eye, and you guys are very you're very knowledgeable with it, right?
Yeah, maybe my mother a little bit more.
Yeah, like
but
she's
I
the
am
one.
as well.
She's the one in the family that I guess fights the spirits away. She does like some sort of
Prayer?
the prayer, right?
It's a prayer, exactly.
It's a prayer, yeah. And I find it funny. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you think this is crazy. It's basically just casting evil towards somebody else, right? Is that what it is?
No, it's removing.
Yeah. But
Oh no, the actual malocchio. Yes,
Yeah,
it's casting evil on another person,
Yeah.
or the way we would say it is if you have a child, okay, and someone says, you know, God, how beautiful is your child? They're so pretty. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
they're so smart, and this and that. And so it's also wishing good upon the person.
oh, wishing good, isn't it? Wishing bad?
Not necessarily when you're paying somebody a compliment.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Okay, it's also saying, but if you're saying it too often, and if you don't say God bless afterwards,
Mhm.
you have the chances of that person being jealous almost of your
Yeah,
child,
okay.
of your home situation, whatever it may be, towards the person. To like,
I get it. No, I get it. I understand.
it's hard to explain because we've mostly like said it in Italian. We know when we have malocchio, you know, wow, I get a huge
It's-
headache.
It's like sending negative energy.
Sending negative
right?
energy,
Negative
but
vibes.
almost when you're saying it in a way that your child is beautiful or smart or whatever, there's a tad of jealousy that's
Okay.
always accompanied towards it.
Or envy.
Envy
yeah.
and jealousy,
So-
absolutely.
So I didn't believe in this at all. I actually
Hard to
thought
explain.
it was.
I don't even know if I'm explaining
No,
this
I
properly.
get it, but it's basically sending bad vibes to somebody else.
Yeah.
And you're doing it kind of subconsciously or unintentionally.
yeah, like I don't think someone's actually there with like a voodoo
No,
doll or something.
But they could be.
It could be. I don't know.
They could
It could
be.
be.
But I didn't believe in this at all. I thought, honestly, and I'm sorry if I'm going to offend people, but I thought it was ridiculous. I really did. I thought it was funny because when I first met you the first couple of years, you would get these bad headaches and you'd call your mother right away.
It's not even a
Right.
bad headache. It's more like you're dizzy. Just
and you
but it
feel
comes
in the,
on
yeah,
suddenly.
it's like a pressure.
It's a pressure right in the front of the forehead, and you know that you're on a full stomach. You're not sick. You're
Yeah.
not tired, and you're like, "What is this?" And then next thing you know, I call my mother. She removes the spell,
Yeah.
and I feel better half an hour later.
So once we started having kids, I would post a lot on my social media pages. If you follow me at Cousin Vinny MTL, if you follow me on Facebook, you see I like to share things. I like to share
but
pictures
we
of our
both do
kids.
of our children.
We
yeah.
both do. We're proud of our kids. And Tina would give me a hard time sometimes because if the baby wouldn't sleep during the night
Or would wake up
or
crying
would wake up crying,
for no reason,
Tina
or have
would-
a hard time
yeah,
falling asleep.
you would literally say, "Babe, why the frig did you post that picture? It's got to be malocchio." And I'm like, "Get out of here! That's
I know. How many times
ridiculous.
you
That's
tell
so
me that?
stupid."
In 3 years, in 2.5 years that we have children, you know, it's happened multiple
Yeah.
times, and especially with our youngest for some reason.
I
It
know.
doesn't affect our oldest daughter as much, but
Or at least we
don't think so. Or
So we'd call Tina's mother like in the middle of the night.
Oh, it's happened. I've
sometimes?
called her in the middle of the night. I've called her at bedtime. I've called her first thing in the morning. I've called her at any time of the day,
And
pretty
then she
much.
would do
But
the-
most
she
of the
would do the
times, we would know with Maya because
Yeah.
it happens more often with her. I
Mhm.
find for some reason, it's before bed. And if I know that she has eaten well, and you know we did the whole bedtime routine, and she's not sick, and next thing you know she's crying and without stopping, we'll call my mom. And she'll do the prayer, and we'll do the sign of the cross. And, you know, we're believers. I'm Catholic, and I believe in this. And next thing you know, baby just calms down and falls asleep. And then I look at Vince,
It's
and I
crazy.
say, "Hey, did you post a picture today
And
or
she would always blame
yesterday?"
me.
And it's always not a coincidence
Yeah.
that it happens every single time you post a picture.
So for the longest time, for like 6 months, 8 months, it would happen like once every few weeks or whatever. And maybe every 3 weeks. And I slowly started to come around. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, every time I posted a video or a picture, it would happen. So I stopped posting
Yeah, you stopped for a
for a little while, and nothing really happened. It was
Until
really
you posted a
strange.
picture not long ago. I think it was like last week.
Yeah.
And I called my mother because she had it again. And the poor baby cannot explain how she feels. She's just in pain. Maybe it's her head, maybe it's her stomach, whatever it is. And I call my mom. And then she's like, yep, she had it. Even if she
Crazy.
has it just a little bit and not like a super big malokyo.
And how does she
it still
tell?
affects
How-
the baby because of the prayer that she does.
You can literally tell.
She feels the energy.
It doesn't have to be.
She doesn't have to be in front of her, but sometimes we'll
Crazy.
FaceTime because
Crazy.
it's better if you could see the person or do it in person. If not, then my mom could do it with a picture and she'll just remove the spell. And sometimes I remember Maya had a really bad, she was maybe a couple months old.
got it
And
worse
she got it
than
really bad one night and my mom had to remove it because it was really bad. And then I had to call my friend to also
Oh, yeah.
remove it. A friend of mine, she's also able to remove it. And she goes, yes, Tina goes, your daughter had a huge one. And you need 2 people to remove it.
2 people.
Yeah.
See, this is crazy, and we
But-
go through. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish.
No, I just feel like I've
And you've
lived my
got-
whole life.
But you get it. You
I
get
get
it
it,
often.
and I know that headache that when it comes in, I'm like, this is malokyo. This is someone who's talking bad about me. This is someone who's or jealous of me or envious. And I'm like, why? And then I call my mom. Yeah, you just had it a little bit, or sometimes it's a large one, and she removes it.
You see, I literally didn't believe it. Like I told you, I started coming around with our kids until, remember, it was about a month ago. It was a Friday morning. I remember it. And I literally, I literally had a few videos go viral on TikTok, like not too long before that. I think it was the same week, maybe 2 days before.
The day before.
Or it was
the day before.
Where a video literally had, well, now it has like 14 million. When we're
Views,
recording
yeah.
this, at the time it must have had 7 or 8 million. And it was a Friday morning, and my head started to like cave in the back. And I'm like, oh, babe, I think I'm feeling sick. I need to go lie down. And like, okay, go rest.
No, but this started at work. You
It
told me it
started
started
at
at
work,
work.
and then I got home and I didn't feel good. And then you went and called your mother
Behind
my
your
back.
back.
'Cause
Because I
I'm
saw
skeptical.
I saw how you felt, and you went to lie down, and I think you fell asleep. And while you were sleeping, I called my mother, and I'm like, Mom, you got to remove it on Vince. And she goes, okay, don't tell him. And then about 15 minutes later, I don't know, you woke up, you came upstairs, and I'm like, so how you feeling? And you're like, I'm actually better.
So she found it, even though I didn't know.
Yeah, because
able to
we
find
know that you don't believe in it, or you didn't until that moment.
I was
So
skeptical.
you're very
Sort of
skeptical. Whatever, skeptical, believe in it, not believe in it. But we knew that if we had told you that my mom was going to remove it, that you'd suddenly feel better. Right?
So I
don't know,
had
yeah.
I had it a lot.
I think you had a big one. Yeah. And then my mom goes to me, didn't Vinny share a TikTok? Didn't he talk about it on his show? Maybe some bad energy was sent his way by whoever it could have been. And she removed it, and you felt great afterwards.
Isn't that crazy though?
And they always say if you sleep on it, like if you sleep on the headache,
Yeah.
you'll still wake up with it, and it'll take longer to go away. But you, it ended up going away. And then when I told you my mom did it, you're like, oh my God, I think I actually believe in it now.
That was the first time, because if you know what we're talking about, it's like this pressure.
Right
It's
here.
like your head caving in. It's
Yeah.
the weirdest.
Or it's either frontal or it's like right in the back of your head. Yeah.
Your cousin, one of your cousins said the day they got married, he had it like the night before.
The
or
night before
something.
he had it, and my mom had to remove it,
Yeah.
and I think another person, like on his wife's family, and he woke up the next morning
And he
feel
felt
as
great.
if nothing ever happened.
So
Oh, you remember that?
I do remember that,
Yeah.
and we're bringing this up too because you see it happening. You know, this podcast is more about relationships and marriages and stuff, and I think there's a lot of jealousy and envy when it comes to other people's relationship or other people's marriages, especially when you expose it a lot.
Like
on
today,
social
a
media.
lot of people expose their lives on
Yeah.
social media,
And a
post
lot of them-
pictures,
yeah,
and
and a
talk
lot of
about
them
their lives openly.
And a lot of them only expose the good parts.
Yeah, because we never know what happens behind closed doors.
And I think that is why we do this. We record this podcast is because we literally want to show you that we all go through crap. We all go through a lot of
Yeah.
shit at home.
Nobody's marriage or relationship
Yeah.
is perfect.
Yeah.
We all have our hurdles. We all have days when you just want to cry, and other days when you're just so happy in the situation you're in.
There's a book on Malokyo. I wish I had it right on me right now.
Yes.
Ah,
I don't remember the name.
I have
But
it.
it's a local Montreal writer who
Yeah.
wrote the book, and I've had some friends read it, and they said it's pretty true to what we experience, what we know about Malokyo. I don't really know the history to it. All I know is you can acquire the powers on Christmas Eve only.
Really?
So that is the day you're supposed
And that's your
to
birthday.
be. Yeah, it's my birthday, ironically, and I do believe in Malakio. I've believed in it my whole life. So on Christmas Eve, about 10 or 12 years ago, my great aunt, who was the one who we would call originally in my family to remove the spell, passed it on to my mother on Christmas
So
Eve.
she's the one in the family that can do it now.
So my mom could do it, and my mom tried to teach my father and I the same
Okay.
day on Christmas Eve. And we just turned, my dad and I looked at each other and we said, you know what, Mary, for the time that you're alive and you want to do this, because you acquire all the powers, because if one person has it, then it's more effective of
So your mom
removing
has
it.
superpowers.
So my mom's got superpowers.
Yeah,
Call
I
her
knew
witch,
she did.
call her whatever you want to call her, but she's got the powers. And one day, yeah, you're laughing, eh? And one
Love you,
day,
Mary.
when my mother's had enough, I know that she will bestow the powers upon me. I know I must sound really weird and crazy right now to some of you listening out there,
You be
but
the
it's
judge.
a European thing. At least I think it is, or a Mediterranean thing. I'm not so sure if like other nationalities believe in it
Yeah,
as much
enlighten
as
us. Enlighten us.
believe in it as much as I know Greeks and Italians do. So please let me know what your experience has been with this in the past, if any. If you've even if you see the blue eye somewhere, like, do you even know what it
'Cause
is?
we had it on our kids' door on their.
Oh, I have like 2 or 3 of them in
Was
Maya's
it
room.
Sia's door too? At one point,
Sia's
had
door
it.
had it too, and it broke.
We bought
and
them
I
in
think
Greece.
like once it breaks, like the spell that was cast on it, it's broken. So Sia doesn't really suffer from Malokio that much anymore. Maya does. So anyway, one day
Yeah.
I will learn on Christmas Eve on my birthday how to remove the spell, and then my friend does it. She does it and removes it by putting oil in water. And she knows the second that she drops the oil into the water how much Malokio she has.
You can tell by that process.
By that process, yeah. If it's a small, if it's a large, if you need another person to remove it. So it's pretty cool. Like I remember she came over to my house a couple times and like would grab a bowl of water and like start putting olive oil inside the water.
It's fascinating.
And removing the spell either on herself or
It's
like on
really
our kids. I
fascinating.
remember, oh my God, that night that Sia threw up, remember when
That
she was
yeah,
10 months old?
Scariest night of our life. Tina was out with her friends that night, and she never has an opportunity to go out with her friends. This is what our first daughter. She's 10 months old. She goes out. She's having a nice meal. I'm like, I got everything's good at home, and
And everything was under control
our
until I
daughter,
left.
Our oldest, 10 months at the time, just starts vomiting everywhere, nonstop, crying.
Yeah.
She looked like she was gonna die. I swear, I called you crying. It was the only night I've ever done that.
Yeah. And my friends and I, we all looked
Scary.
at each other and we said, get in the car, let's go back home.
You were close by, thank
I was
God.
close by, I was down the street, and I wouldn't have gone far anyway, knowing that you were home with our baby, and that didn't really happen that very often. But anyway, that's another story. So we
crazy.
ran home, and
And you did the Malokio that
we
night.
did. My friend did the Malokio. My mother did it as well because she was vomiting everywhere. That's also another sign. It's not just the headache; it's the vomiting. Like you feel so nauseous. But we think it was a combination of like something that she had eaten that day, along with the Malokio, because my friend found it in the bowl with the water and the oil.
There's people listening or watching think this is the stupidest thing ever.
Of course.
And
And
look,
it's okay to each their own. You don't. You can believe in it. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to believe in it. This is just something we personally. Well, I do, and now I think Vinny's coming around to it.
I've come around because we talked about it on my radio show that I do. I host a morning show, and there's a lot of people who wrote in, a lot of people who called in. They go through the same thing. That's why they don't
Really?
share pictures of their kids on
Yes.
social media or of their family.
It's also superstition, right? It's all
Yeah.
of that, and that people will bestow negative, jealous, envy. You know,
so sad, and I just find, but social media breeds that now
Yeah.
because you're seeing a window into everybody's life, and a lot of times you think, "Oh, their life's so perfect. Screw them."
No one's life is perfect. That we know.
But the book. If you're watching right now, I don't have it on me, but I'm gonna put some notes in the link down below. Whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're listening on Apple or Spotify or Google Podcasts or iHeartRadio, and you got to check out this book because it's fascinating. Gives you the history. It makes you understand what Malokio is more.
And the religious part of it too.
Yeah.
Which,
If,
again, I don't
you
know it, so I never really took the time
Yeah.
to fully understand it.
If
But
you are religious,
yeah.
and if you feel free to want to share any stories that you've been
That you've experienced,
experienced through Malokio, good or bad, we want to hear them because they're interesting.
Come on, people. I need Vinny to be a little bit more
Yeah.
convinced
No,
that this
I-
actually exists and happens.
Look-
Because he's seen it happening for 14 months now with our baby,
It's
and
just-
it happened to him about a month ago.
It's almost like
It's-
if you don't believe in like ghosts or UFOs, and all of a sudden you kind of have an experience. Your mind
changes.
You change your whole.
It takes one
mindset.
experience to change your whole mindset. Yeah.
That's enough bad luck talk. Jeez, like I'm getting hungry. So let's talk about Steak Bleu. Our friend at Steak Bleu, and your phone's ringing.
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll call your parents back. They're actually calling us right now. They have our kids. But it's beautiful
Sorry.
weather. It's perfect time to barbecue. We got to say hi to our friends over at Steak Bleu, and they offer an incredible discount just for listening to the podcast. Type in Fast 10 at checkout. They have these customized boxes now that are really cool.
They
You
do.
can customize your own boxes. Before,
Yeah.
it was a pre-selected variety box. Now, for a little more expensive, you can customize that box, and you can pick any meat, which is really
Right.
awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many different selections. Check them out, steakbleu.ca. Type in Fast 10 because you listen to the podcast, and we're hooking you up, right? And do us a favor. Don't cast any bad
No,
vibes on
please
us.
don't. And
Please.
please don't.
'Cause
Don't give
the-
my mother more work to do.
Yeah, no. Mind you, she's
Or my
always on.
friend.
She's always on standby though.
She always,
It's
always.
nice.
Like,
It's cute.
the other day she was driving, and I'm like, Mom, I think Maya has Malocchio. She's like, wait, I'm gonna pull over. So she literally pulled over and did
Doesn't
it.
take long either, right? It's like 1 minute and the process
Not
is
even.
done.
And
It's
you do a
it's
couple of
beautiful.
crosses, and
It's
but you
great.
gotta believe in it for it to
Yeah.
actually work.
Yeah, and if you don't believe in it, then well,
Good luck.
good luck.
Yeah.
And we, I guess, apologize for doing an episode on this because you probably don't care. But maybe you're fascinated and you're interested and you want to find out more
And you
about
can
it.
learn more about
And you
it.
can learn more about it. So again, thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day. Bye.